In 2015, a photograph circulated widely across the technology world. At first glance, it seemed unremarkable. It was a research image from an artificial intelligence dataset. The caption beneath it read, "Baseball." But the image was not of a baseball or of anyone playing baseball. It showed a young boy holding a toothbrush. The system had not actually recognized the object in the child's hand. Instead, it had associated the overall image with patterns it had seen elsewhere in its training data. To many researchers, this was a technical problem. It was a classification error. It was a flaw in the model. But for others, it represented something larger. A reminder that artificial intelligence systems do not simply emerge from mathematics alone. They inherit assumptions from data, from the people designing them, from the societies surrounding them. And among the researchers thinking deeply about these questions was Dr. Fei-Fei Li, a pioneering computer scientist whose work helped transform modern computer vision, and later an advocate for something increasingly important in the future of artificial intelligence: human-centered AI. Because as machines become increasingly capable of generating language, images, and making decisions, one question grows more significant. How do we ensure that intelligence remains connected to humanity? Welcome to the EdTech Curio Cabinet. I'm Christina, and in each episode, we explore the evolving world of education through 4 lenses: the artifact, an educational tool, technology, or practice shaping how people learn; the pattern, the deeper historical forces that help explain how we arrived here; the paradox, the tension hidden beneath the surface; and finally, the signal, a glimpse into where learning may be heading next. In this Curio, we're going to look at human-centered artificial intelligence. In 2019, the Stanford Institute for Human-Centered Artificial Intelligence was formally launched under the co-direction of Fei-Fei Li and John Etchemendy. The name itself was telling: not simply Artificial Intelligence Institute, but human-centered AI. The distinction mattered. By this point, artificial intelligence research had already accelerated dramatically. Machine learning systems were achieving breakthroughs in image recognition, language generation, medical diagnostics, recommendation systems, and investment surged. Public fascination expanded, and conversations about automation intensified. Yet alongside this process came growing concerns around bias, privacy, the possibility of lost jobs, surveillance, and social inequality. In her memoir, The Worlds I See by Dr. Fei-Fei Li, she reflects repeatedly on the human dimensions surrounding AI research. Her story moves between technical breakthroughs and deeply personal experiences: immigration, family sacrifice, caregiving, education, and interdisciplinary collaboration. One of the most consistent themes in her work is the idea that intelligence cannot be separated from human context. AI systems influence real people, and increasingly, they shape systems central to society itself. They shape and impact healthcare. They shape and impact employment, media, government, and education. That recognition helped inspire a broader movement within AI research towards interdisciplinary collaboration. Computer scientists were working alongside ethicists, psychologists, neuroscientists, and educators, of course, because intelligence in practice does not exist in isolation from human life. And education may be one of the clearest examples of that reality. There is a recurring historical pattern surrounding major technological revolutions. Early stages often focus heavily on capability. Can the machine work? Can it scale? Can it outperform previous systems? What about optimizing production? Can it do that? Can it increase efficiency? Only later do broader societal questions begin to dominate public conversation. The Industrial Revolution transformed manufacturing long before labor protections fully emerged. Social media platforms expanded rapidly before we grappled seriously with the misinformation and mental health effects of it. And search engines reorganized access to information before the questions of algorithmic influence became widespread. Educational technologies have followed similar patterns. Initial conversations often emphasize access, scale, engagement, and efficiency. Later, these conversations evolved and start focusing more heavily on equity, pedagogy, inclusion, cognitive impact, and societal consequences. Artificial intelligence appears to be following this trajectory as well. The technical breakthroughs arrive first. The societal implications are now becoming increasingly visible. And education occupies a fascinating position within this pattern because educational systems do more than transfer information. They shape human development itself, which means the integration of AI into education raises questions extending far beyond productivity alone. So at first glance, artificial intelligence appears to be a highly technical field. It has algorithms, data sets, neural networks, compute infrastructure, and certainly those technical foundations matter enormously. But one of the paradoxes of advanced AI is this. As machines become more capable, human questions become more important than less. Questions like, what should students learn? How should systems make decisions? What perspectives are represented and what is considered fair? How should technology influence childhood development? And what forms of knowledge deserve protection and which ones preserve human agency? Those are not purely engineering questions. These are educational questions. They're ethical questions. They're human-based questions. And this tension becomes especially visible in learning environments. An AI system may generate feedback instantly, but should every form of feedback be automated? A system may optimize instructional pathways, but what form of exploration might disappear when learning becomes overly optimized? The paradox is profound. The more advanced artificial intelligence becomes, the more societies may rely deeply on human disciplines to guide its development responsibly. And education sits near the center of that conversation, because classrooms are among the first places where future generations learn how to relate to intelligent systems at all. One of the most encouraging signals emerging around AI is the growing recognition that technical capability alone is insufficient. Increasingly, major conversations about artificial intelligence involve collaboration across disciplines. Researchers in cognition, ethics, law, medicine, philosophy, and education are participating more actively in shaping AI development. And educators may become particularly important contributors in this future. Teachers work daily with misunderstanding, motivation, social learning, and intellectual growth. In other words, educators already operate inside profoundly human systems. That perspective may become increasingly valuable as AI enters schools and universities and workplaces. These perspectives may help society answer questions such as, how should humans learn alongside intelligent systems? What cognitive skills become more important in an AI-rich environment? And what forms of creativity and collaboration remain deeply valuable? And perhaps more importantly, how do we ensure that increasingly intelligent technologies continue to support human development? Because ultimately, education has always been about more than just information transfer. It concerns the development of people. And that may become even more important in the age of intelligent machines. Throughout history, technological revolutions have eventually forced societies to reconsider what they value most deeply. Artificial intelligence appears to be prompting a similar moment. As machines become increasingly capable of generating language, analysis, and explanations, human questions are moving closer to the center of the conversation. Questions about ethics, about judgment, about responsibility, and about human development itself. Those questions may prove especially important in education because schools do not simply produce knowledge, they help shape the people who will use it. Artificial intelligence continues to evolve rapidly, but human learning remains deeply social, cultural, and personal. That's why we keep the cabinet open. Thanks for exploring the EdTech Curio cabinet.